Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
How do I look?
You look respectable in some way.
I shaved and I showered.
How does that not fit under the respectable umbrella?
I'm talking about for you. I did this for you, my friend.
I don't care if you shave for me, really.
I'm shaving for you.
I prefer a burlier.
No.
You're showing
Are you telling me
you're
not
showing
gonna
me the
keep
wedding
fur-
ring? This is for your wife? What is this?
Yes. I'm telling you, don't get too close.
Is it a big night happening? What's happening?
No, I'm saying I look good, but don't get any ideas.
Ah, okay.
First of all,
so this your big bit was to make some sort of weird homophobic thing?
No, it's just probably what happens is the bits deteriorate as I execute them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just trying to see what your initial premise was.
I don't have an initial premise.
I shaved and took a shower?
Just to make you happy.
Okay, thank you.
And then I looked sexy for you.
Ah, you didn't. You don't.
Now, let me
sexy.
say something.
Like I said, I prefer a burlier.
Let me tell you, I don't even buy that. Let me tell you.
Is it a 5 o'clock shadow for you? What is it?
I shaved right before the show. I want to say something to all of our fans. There's 2 things that could be true.
Okay.
One, Josh is secretly gay and is so embarrassed about it, about how much he's attracted to me, that it's hard for him to do the show.
Okay, what's 2? What's B?
2 is, in your eyes,
you can't think of
I'm the
another.
least attractive man or person you've ever seen of either sex.
Okay.
And the idea of me trying to maneuver into an area of flirtation, it's sickening all around.
I'm a little sickened by it, but what's number?
So which one?
So what's number 3? Is there
Number
a third?
3 is I forgot the premise that I started with. So again, the bit deteriorates.
How about 3B? We act like normal fucking people. How about that?
Oh God! Oh, you know what?
Picked 3. I picked
needed
3.
to hear that. I needed to hear it. You said it. I needed to hear. Okay, now, are you ready to segue into a quiz? So it's only one question, so don't think it's going to be the whole show of me being.
I like a longer quiz, but I'll tell.
Okay.
I hate all the eggs in one basket, one question quiz thing. But
okay. Well,
you should have just said I have a question instead of a quiz, and then I wouldn't have gotten all tense.
All right, I'm sorry. I have a question.
Okay.
All right, so listen. But you have to be like in Hollywood Squares mode. No, or whatever mode you're in. I just watched, I just tipped part of it. I just watched Rosemary. Okay?
Okay.
Rosemary. I think you've seen it, right?
Rosemary, the documentary about Rosemary?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
It's very enjoyable.
Sure.
Okay. Which did I start watching right before this recording this morning? Which of these 3?
Okay.
Hitler's Bodyguard. It's all about Hitler's bodyguard.
You've seen that already.
Tab Hunter, Confidential. It's all about Tab Hunter. He may have I don't know, he was gay or something like that. 3.
He didn't. If you don't know he was gay after watching, I'm not buying that one.
I just started it.
Okay, all right.
Or 3, Stalin's Daughter.
Stalin's Daughter.
Yes, but it was a trick question. I forgot. And you must admit that if I hadn't told you I had just watched Hitler's Bodyguard, you might have gone for that, right?
Maybe. Yeah, sure. Yes, for sure. Yes. I absolutely would have.
I tried to trick you with that.
I know, but your memory backfired. Your lack of memory backfired.
That Rosemary thing, you know what I loved? Here's the thing I loved about Rosemary was the part where she's angry that it's too much about Mary Tyler Moore at home with Rob, Dick Van Dyke. And she's angry to the point where Carl Reiner says, look, you're the greatest. If you can't accept that it's about it's about both, but mostly it's about Mary Tyler Moore, then don't come back. I mean, it wasn't quite said that way.
No, it's Carl Reiner. You know, come on. What kind of hardball does Carl Reiner play?
So then I said to myself, oh my God, that would have been me. If I had reached that success, I would have found one bitter way. I'm not saying I'm not comparing the Rosemary and me as a man or woman. I'm just saying the idea of not even self-sabotage. I brighten up any time in any kind of documentary when the self-sabotage hits. Because I go, I'm home.
That's right. That's my connection point. Yes.
That's my case. It was like, Okay, you're
Because
on
a lot of people would connect you more with Maury Amsterdam, whereas the truth is you're more Rosemary.
Well, growing up, I was more of a... No, I don't think I ever was a Maury Amsterdam because he was like, hey, how you doing there? Hey, boop, 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 boop. I mean, better than that.
A little better, yeah.
And, but you're right. You're right. I don't know what it is. You're not right. I'm just saying, for some reason...
I'm right.
I love
sure. Well, I wasn't wrong.
I love humanity. I love the humanity in things. And but when I say humanity, I mean when people... in other words, like, this would have been the situation. Andy, could you fuck this up? You're on the most popular show on television right now.
Right.
Everyone loves what you're doing, but you're not happy for some reason. This was me on a smaller level on Everybody Loves Raymond. I think that is a smaller level.
It's a smaller level. You were a recurring.
All right, look. The truth is this. I think of myself as a huge star because that's what you have in your mind when you're a little boy. So anytime you come up with an anecdote, why is he dropping a name? Because he thinks he wants to be a big star. He still wants to be a big star. Why is he constantly talking about star, wants to be a big star? I could play it that way or go, oh, look, you know me. That's not me. It's not about me or what I like.
No, I like truthful Andy a lot better. I'll give you that.
Right.
Even if it's showing a pettier side, I still prefer truthful Andy to putting on airs Andy.
I've actually seen this podcast as a way for me, without being, I mean, sometimes it goes too far, but as a way of me admitting things that in other contexts I wouldn't admit.
I think we've stripped away a lot of Andy on this show in 6 years.
The idea.
By the way, I think it's like actually 6 years this week.
Oh my God! First of all, let me tell you something. I don't want to jinx this, but this has turned into the greatest show.
If you haven't jinxed it by now, come on.
No, I'm serious. We are on a roll right now. I don't think Nichols and May, Abbott and Costello, Stalin and Lenin. I don't think you could get any two people who are more hitting their stride. And I don't even think talking about it will jinx it. I'm just saying that people tune in week after week.
Tune in next week when our guest will be Frankenstein.
You know what we can't do? We can't do in this thing is like fades in and fades out. It's because of the. I look at life and I'm loquacious, but it's fun. And then fade in and fade out. And so when I first saw you, when you first came over to the house, Josh, I said, this kid's got something fade in and fade out. And when I die, I would like Thought Spiral to be on my gravestone as he also had a podcast.
Yeah, because we can't. It's not a visual show, so we can't show calendar pages flipping.
Maybe that's the whole problem. Do you think the 15th time they did the calendars going away, they said, "Look, whoa! Are we hitting the calendar thing too hard? It's been 25 movies.
There has to be a better way to show time passage."
And what did they go to? A guy walking with luggage,
a beard growing on someone's face,
and a guy walking with luggage into the airport. Oh, Josh, I was on such a high. What a big beginning for us.
It was like he took a hit of nitrous and just let it out now.
You know what I ruined it? You know how I ruined it?
Number 5.
Yeah. I just want to make sure you were checking it out. I don't smoke pot in the house anymore. That's a new thing.
Yeah.
And
I just edibles now?
Right, but if I go after I go on a nice 3-mile walk, I like to shove down some joints. As long as I'm outside, I like to smoke.
Yeah.
Now,
do you smoke on the balcony?
Rule. She has told me I can go on the balcony.
That's good. She.
But for some reason,
when there's rules, it's always she instead of a name.
She has. This is. I don't want to make you feel bad. But for years, she's been politely saying it smells. It's really strong. And the other day, she said to me, I'm in the bedroom, you're in the bathroom in your little, whatever, the shower area, and I'm coughing. It's literally because she was a smoker, has terrible asthma, not terrible asthma, has asthma, and it's actually hurting. And after all those years, I was like, I thought for the years she was like, that she was the man at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but she's literally trying in a nice way to say, you're killing me. You're literally killing me.
Hurting me. It's
hurting me.
Yes.
And it's so weird because the skies parted for me because I knew she wasn't trying to get me to stop smoking pot. which would be really hard.
It'd be difficult. I've tried.
Really. And obviously, I have an addictive personality. Why would I be on cocaine if I wasn't
Fade out. Fade in.
But like I think I've told you this before, there are certain things about OCD that I've actually defeated by. Are you going to remember where I am about that? Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck. OCD.
Started with the seas,
okay.
The skies parted because you realized.
No, I know. But writing out checks.
Okay.
Used to be the hardest thing in the world.
Ass can't catch them.
And so what I would do is I would spend hours writing the check, looking at the check, spend hours putting it in the envelope, spend hours reopening it before it got to the post office,
right.
Spend hours looking at the chute that's going down, spend hours checking out the environment. No. It got solved by Susan saying, you should get duplicate checks. This way you won't be agonizing, and then you can check it or not check it. Since the day she got me, you know what I mean? Am I saying it the right way?
With the carbon copy?
Carbon copy checks.
Yeah.
Right. It's solved the problem.
That's fantastic.
It cured. Okay.
But again, paying online is still better.
What do you mean, paying online?
I mean, don't write checks. Pay online.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going to.
Okay, good.
The second part of this is, for years, I told you this thing about being out late at night with the ATMs and trying to put the checks in. Did I tell you that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think late at night was like 7.
7.
Yeah.
Right, because when it gets dark. Will you explain to people that it does get dark at least?
It gets
when I'm talking about
dusky.
It's 7.
Dusky. It's dusky.
It was 7 a couple of weeks ago when this happened.
Yeah.
And now
slightly dimmer, really. If it was a couple of weeks ago, that's 7.
Yes, kind of. And now they don't even have the ATMs. They're boarding them up. They have one ATM is turned into a coffee place.
Yeah.
That used to be. I got mobile banking, whatever the fuck. Mobile. Like we talked about this. It saved. It solved everything.
Yeah.
Did you know that I was implementing it?
I knew that you had finally figured out some aspect of it recently.
Now my therapist has told me one more thing. Zelle.
Yeah, I do Zelle.
Zelle.
Yeah, I do Zelle.
You do Zelle?
I do Zelle.
Okay. Now, can you hook this in back to what I was first talking about?
Smoking pot, not hurting
yes.
Susan.
Oh, you're such a wonderful man. Now that you don't hate me so much.
I put a pin in it.
Okay. Because I was so worried that Susan's going to make me stop smoking. She's never asked me to stop smoking.
Right.
It automatically solved the problem. It forces me to go out to smoke pot, and therefore I only smoke it after my walk, or I smoke it whenever I'm out, whenever I'm actually outside,
right.
And then I rely on the edibles. The place probably does smell better. I mean, I was using a carbon thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever use those carbon things? It's a smoke buddy. You blow it through a boom, boom, boom. Nothing works.
I just bought my own house.
No. But I live with somebody.
I understand.
It's there. Did you ever smoke? Did you smoke in the house all the time?
Yeah, I did.
We did.
But just in my office. With window.
Did you ever get one of those zappers? Or think about it?
I didn't have a zapper, but I did have a fan blowing outward. That created this. I had a good little system going. It wasn't too smoky in here.
Well, Susan was asking me, do they still make those? I mean, I've already changed my lifestyle, but do they still make those?
No. I'm just trying to save your lifestyle.
I saw on 60 Minutes last night that they are sucking carbon out of the air and turning it into stone.
Yeah.
I mean, worries are over, my friends. Fill up the tank.
Right.
We're decarboning.
If they just make 1 million of those stations.
Yeah, but it gave me a little bit of hope.
No, it's good. There are some technical answers. There just needs to be the kind of capital behind them.
Right. And I'm willing to. Okay.
All right.
What do you think about Bill?
Call Rob.
You mean Brotherton?
Yes.
About what?
Investing in clean air.
You know what? As soon as I get off the phone with you, I know that what people who make as much as he is makes, they're looking for like things that won't probably pay off for 20, 30 years.
Right.
And that there may not be profit in it at all. Because he said to me, Andy, whatever it is, when and where, whatever you want, when and where. So I said to him, I don't have the end of the bit, but it would be funny if I did.
Okay. So now you're just eating edibles indoors. Is that the upshot
Eating
of this?
edibles indoors. And the thing that has, there's a part of me, Josh, I don't know if you realize this, there's a part of me that's just wants to post, I just hit 155. I haven't weighed that little in 45 years. And wants to just brag about how much I walk every day. And it's really not the best part of me. And it's what people can turn Twitter and various social media pages into.
Right.
Look at me. I'm doing this. Everybody follow me, sponsor me on my walk.
Right. But think of how many people could respond with their real workouts.
Oh, well, that's why. That's another reason not to do it. Right. If you're going to get into that game, well, yeah, I'm walking. Like,
look, an old man took a walk.
Okay, you just brought up a very, very salient point. I got this thing, Map My Walk, by Underwire, by Under Armour. What's the name of the company?
I don't know. You
know what it is.
There's Under Armour is a company that is,
that's it.
The most fitness related of the three you mentioned.
So Map My Walk.
Uh-huh.
Great. First week I had, greatest thing in the world. Then all of a sudden,
I mapped the word hi.
All of a sudden I start to get bothered. I am actually emotionally upset by them constantly saying, why don't you upgrade?
Yeah.
Do you know what your barometric pressure is? Upgrade.
Right.
Anything you don't immediately see? Are you looking at what your scatadoucious quality is while you're walking?
Hey, how about
Upgrade.
You go to the paid version on this Jew tracker?
Okay, so this is what I decided. I would rather pay an initial $5.
Uh-huh.
I'll pay you $5, and then you just update me for 5 years. Or I'll pay you $10, or I'll pay you $20.
Uh-huh.
But I start to go, I'm hurting these people. I'm using their thing. It's not fair. I'm using it for free like a Jew. Why aren't I not paying? And then I don't want to. So I realized that the first week I had it was great. The second week, if you don't go back to it, like if you stop in a restaurant or you stop at a store and then you don't go back to it, or you forget to turn it off when you reach home, it keeps going to the next day, the next day, the next day. It's not like the heart thing on the iPhone that just neatly.
No, you asked it to track you.
Right.
And you didn't tell it to stop tracking you.
Right. And here's what I decided, Josh. I stopped tracking myself because this is the deal.
I just realized I run in little panicky circles every time the phone rings.
That's right. And I can. No, I haven't. I don't leave it on. I should probably check that out because I could map the thing all around. Okay, here's the deal. Andy Kindler.
Front door, iron. Front door, iron. Front door, iron. Front door, iron.
You
can't leave the house without checking the iron if it's off.
So here's
I should have said stove. I should have said front door.
You should have said stove, but you don't. Who irons? So here's the thing.
Not you, clearly.
Right. Here's all of Matt My Walk has taught me, and I think I have the message.
Yeah.
If Andy Kindler, I like to refer to myself in third person like that. Uh-huh. If I'm walking fast, really chugging it.
We're talking chugging it. 4 MP.
It doesn't look like I'm race walking, but it looks like that guy's in a hurry. Where's he going?
Walking with a purpose, let's call that.
Right. 18 minutes a mile.
Wow.
Okay. If I'm just strolling, 20 minutes a mile.
Okay.
If I stop off somewhere, 21, 22 minutes a mile. What the? Okay.
So 3 miles an hour is pretty much your rate. You're just gonna. That's just what it's gonna be.
You. That's right.
That's
also,
how your little legs will carry you.
And I even have it down more than that. 19 steps is 1/100th of a mile, or say 20 steps. Right.
Okay, sure.
Say 20 steps. So that's why. Let's say I'm lost and the problem isn't me having to be in a compass area. Like I have to find out. I guess I have to walk a certain amount of distance, even if it gets us lost more. 20 strides per 100th of a mile, 2,000 strides per tenth of a mile and 20,000 strides for a mile.
You think counting to 20,000 is going to help your OCD?
I'm not good at math. If I was good at math, then some people would go, he's got OCD, but he's like Rain Man. Right? But no. So anyway.
So you're saying you could do the work of the thing in your head?
Yes. Yes.
Well.
Yes. And only when I ran 10.
Again, if you're counting every step, that's not going to help your OCD at all.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And the reason why I am able to count every step is because I have OCD. Uh-huh. And when I was a kid, I had OCD. I couldn't. It wasn't like
I did a lot of step counting as a kid myself.
Well, that's the continuum. There is a continuum of that. I would then argue that you have a little OCD in you.
I wouldn't argue against it.
Right. But
I have no defensiveness against any of it.
If that was the only thing you had done, then you maybe wouldn't be considered OCD. Yeah. Because everybody kind of does that to a certain degree. But because of my OCD, I can figure out now how fast I walk. And then I can throw it. If I was running 10Ks, like I did at one point in my life until I got sick of it, then I think it was kind of fun to see if you can get your time lower.
Right.
But I was 33 at the time.
But now, you can get to mid-Encino in an hour.
That's the thing I'm saying. I know that I can use that. That's what I'm saying. If someone robbed me or if I dropped my wallet and my
I
phone.
could be to the nearest police station in 32 minutes.
Yeah, how would it work? How would that work how would that work in Sherman Oaks, PI? That's got to come in on Sherman Oaks, PI. You have to get the killer is exactly 2.6 miles, and he fell.
I think Monk already did the OCD detective, though.
Do you have to be a naysayer? Why are you always? Here's the thing. Tom Sharpling wrote for that show, and I did laugh at that show, but I wanted to get it. It wasn't Columbo to me.
Right.
That show. Did you like that show?
I never really watched it much.
Yeah. He's great. The guy who's the lead.
Yeah, he is.
Tony Shalhoub. I don't know what I'm saying. Here, you can tell my mind's going.
Tony
Hold on. Let me get back it. The idea that I dominate conversations and go on and on and on is charming when it goes like this. Yeah. It's charming.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right?
Yes.
But
last week, it just I just looked like an EKG over your when I was editing. It was just like one line over yours, and my line was just an occasional blip, just blip. Me going, yeah.
I told you when we started. Yeah. Remember, I told you when we started that if you follow this one rule, we will have a great show. What did I say to you? I said two words: pipe down, pipe down.
That's what Susan said to you too. And now
but she was referring to my penis.
Now you just eat gummies inside.
Well, you know what? The thing about gummies is they make you way higher. That's why you don't like them that much.
No, they don't make me high at all. That's why I don't like them.
That is so weird.
I know.
I thought, okay, so you're like the guy in Ram Dass's, when Ram Dass went to, and he found his guru, he gave his guru like 15, 20 hits of acid in it, and the guru put him on his tongue and didn't affect him at all. That's what you are. I mean, it means you're on a very deep, high level.
I don't know if that's true. Because I can smoke pot and it makes me high.
So I think what would happen, you would only react to too much eating, because eating too much pot can really be a bummer. What it wouldn't be for you, you would throw up first.
I guess, but I mean, I've tried many high ass dose gummies, and I've had, maybe I could perceive something, but it didn't get me it really did not.
Wow!
It did not knock me off my game, and it was.
Well, you don't like,
and it was disappointing.
You must feel the same way about vaping pot too, right?
No, I mean, I don't like vaping as much as smoking.
But you get high from vaping.
But it works, yeah. Because it's the same. No, that's the same mechanism as smoking, as opposed to it going through your liver and being digested.
Remember that song, "Over the River and Through the Over Your Liver and Through the Woods"? Over your liver and through the.
No.
Come on, it was our best song.
No recollection of it.
Into his liver and through the woods.
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
I watched the whole Heaven's Gate cult thing.
I watched some of it and got bored with the people.
It is boring, but it's also good.
Yeah.
It's also good because you hear these people and they're talking, and it's sad at times because I'm
for obvious reasons.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But it's not sad for, it would have been, if I watched it earlier in life, I would have said, these fucking idiots, they deserve to die. That would have been, but I'm younger than that now, is what I'm saying.
Right.
It seems like, how could you go for a Star Trek based cult when Star Trek is out?
Right.
Or soon after Star Trek is done. Who would buy that? You would go, hey, I'm not buying that. And be like, hey, we're the monkeys. This is the new code. You say, hey, we're the monkeys. So I want to make fun of these people. But the truth is that cults, anybody can get in a cult. Maybe not that one we wouldn't get into, but anyone is susceptible. It's not based on the fact that I'm not as smart as my father. Oh, I mean, based on intelligence.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are probably less susceptible than others, but...
Shut up. Shut the fuck. I don't know.
That wasn't me saying I'm smarter than you.
I know, but I imagine it would be a good slam if it was, so I just was kind of appreciating the slam of it.
I just,
No, I mean,
the difference is really how we watch these things, which is you watch it and completely put yourself in that position, and I just missed that possibility off the top.
Oh, no. The only minor point I'm making that I think is a valid point, which they say on all of these shows, it is not generally good to ridicule people.
No, it's not,
and also to think you couldn't be susceptible to it.
I think that's probably true. I think there's just certain, there's different flavors that one would be
and
more
there are people who are less
to.
susceptible. You, I would think, is just by the way your mind is, you're less susceptible to be into one of those things.
Well, I think first off, just because I'm not looking for an answer to anything.
That's true. You'd be the last person. Are you feeling like you need something simple to guide your life? No. Would you like to have? Is your life missing things? Yes.
Sure.
Would you like a simple answer to it that answers all of your problems?
I tried those, didn't work.
Okay, but if you hadn't tried those, maybe one of them, you go, this magic pill. You were the first person to turn down to not be red pilled. I wish I'd seen the. Did you see that movie?
The Matrix?
That's a good movie, people say.
It was a pretty good movie. I didn't watch the subsequent Matrix I.
Is that where the red pills come in?
I don't remember the whole. I mean, I remember enjoying it. That's about what stuck with me. And a lot of slow motion.
I believe that Keanu Reeves, if there has to, and I'm saying this for real, slightly.
I'm not sure why, but okay.
If there has to be a Jesus, like who's our Messiah, or who's our, I'm going too far, but I think he might be the world's nicest person. I think he might be the world's, and I'm not saying like he doesn't yell. What did you see?
What?
You're going to send me something now, right?
No.
Every time, all right, I'm going to be Keanu Reeves.
Here's my theory. Here's why I recoil at that thought, is that it's very possible that the world's nicest person isn't famous.
No, I didn't mean it that way. That's why I was saying it's a scale. It's a curve.
Uh-huh.
It's in that field, in the field of acting.
Right.
And if you're going to grade on, even though he's recognized 1 billion times a day, he's still nice to little kids and all this kind of thing.
Right.
He's the Jesus Christ. That's all I'm saying.
He's the Jesus Christ.
You accept it or you don't.
He's the Jesus Christ of simple decency.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, is that the standards for celebrities are so low in terms of their behavior that people like Keanu Reeves and Tom Hanks become these sainted figures for just being.
Oh, that's true.
Just nice people.
Because their reputational.
Polite, indulging occasionally.
Even in this Rosemary
understanding
thing,
that you're giving people pleasure by your presence.
even in this Rosemary thing, there was a lot of
Instead
egos.
of feeling entitled to be giving people pleasure by your presence. Yeah, well, Rosemary was raised in show business.
Not only was she raised in show business, she was raised by the mob.
Yes.
Do you think Tacopina, is it wrong to say Tacopina is a little too mobby? I mean, is that an Italian slur that you shouldn't have your lawyer be, hey, look, let me ask you a question, Eugene Carroll. What the fuck are you, how do you choose? Who else would he be chosen for at this point in his horrible career? Tacopina, if that's the way you say his name. And I don't dislike all Italian mobsters.
No,
that's not what this is about. Some of my best friends are like, hey, look, let me tell you something. Trump didn't lie, okay? He simply said he knew. No. I'm arguing like an asshole on behalf of Trump. I mean, come on. This guy, I know I'm saying the obvious, but this is like from central casting of the worst lawyer you would ever have in a trial about rape.
Yes.
Yeah, Your Honor, excuse me, cry me a river. About the rape, Your Honor, cry me a river, okay? Half of my mother's children died in birth camp. I'm trying to come up with a character.
Yeah.
You could do it better than me.
Probably better than birth camp. I could probably do.
Let me tell you something about this chick. This chick comes up there. She says, my guy, Donnie, look at her. She's 71 years old. Why would my isn't it true that you didn't have any relations after that? Yes, that is true. Yeah, what? Huh? Check it out with this fucking woman.
Check out the whore of Bergdorf's over here.
I also love this. Tacopina is going to bring up the fact that she went back to Bergdorf Goodman's.
Right.
Yeah. In other words, this person horribly was raped, never could have sex anymore never has had sexual relations, is what she says, since then. And so he's taking the fact that she had the courage to go into a store where she was raped. He's saying, no. If she was raped, why is she going back there? Why is she going back there? Why didn't you scream? I'm just saying I don't like these people, Josh.
I think you're right. I think your take is good in this case.
I know. I like.
There's some horses you back that I really can't get behind you on, you know. But
like what?
Like the My Pillow guy, sending him money.
Oh, I said he was good.
I know you keep sending him money and stuff, you know, but
Josh, don't talk about that. Bring that up. I told you that I was that my aunt was his godmother's fuckface.
Talk about bailing.
I could, often in the when I was in the comedy duo, I would say, "Bring the bailiff. I'm out." 2 seconds into a bit.
Yeah.
I'm bailing. We're both on Mars, and we've discovered a nice thing. Not me. I'm not on Mars, Bill. You're fucking on Mars.
I'll be in the car.
Yes. Did you ever hear the anecdote about Jamie Masada? This is so embarrassing. I don't think I've ever told you.
Well, I hate Jamie Masada, and I like embarrassing stories about you. So I don't know how this could go wrong for me personally.
All right. So Jamie Masada was a horrible club owner. I'm going to shorten the story because it doesn't matter. He was a horrible man in many ways. And I don't know why he wouldn't adjust for two mics.
He's a horrible man masquerading as a great man, which is even,
That's so true. As I'm saying this, I'm remembering the horror of my behavior here.
Okay. I like it. All right.
So I couldn't. Okay. So
I won't interrupt any longer.
No, it wasn't even that. It's just like every time I pause, I go, oh God, it was bad. So somehow, and I don't even remember everything. Somehow I get into an argument with the fucking club owner, and he won't adjust the mics, or he won't plug in for a second mic for us. He says to share a mic. Now, I think I'm leaving out things that I blocked out, but at one point I was down monkeying with the equipment, and he fucking yelled at me, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
So now I'm outside, and I'm arguing with Bill. He's going, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I said, and I'm yelling at him that this guy's an asshole, and that, oh, it must have had to do with my recording equipment. I had the recording equipment. Like I had a VHS recorder. I had a tripod.
And you were trying to put it take it off the board?
Something like that. I don't know. So
and,
on the street,
let me point out that this is when you were like open mic acts.
Oh, this is 1985.
Yeah, you weren't like a booked act that he was paying. You were you were an open mic act fighting for a second mic. And,
right.
Yeah.
And fighting for the wrong cause. In other words, it'd be like Lenny Bruce arguing instead of language. I want my own fucking recording device. I don't know why he sounds like Joe Tacopina. But so we get outside, and Bill and I used to have arguments that were so horrible, but they're funny in retrospect. We would argue about how much Alan and Rossi made at Vegas World. He said they made $20,000 a week. I said, there's no way they're making that. Argument for 3 days.
Yeah.
We had a violent not violent, but a violent verbal. Never violence in my past, which is good because I'd be dead. So, a violent argument about whether movie theaters. He was claiming that the price you pay at the door is irrelevant. It's all in the concessions.
Yeah.
My argument was, I understand that the concessions might be more than the ticket price, but you can't just say the ticket price means nothing. 3-day argument, 4-day argument.
All right.
Once we had an argument where he wanted to get up, I wanted to take a shower before we drove back from this place in Santa Barbara. And then he was rushing me. So I said, I'm not taking a shower. And then we had this argument. You're showering. He's trying to get me into the shower. You're showering. Because now I don't want to shower. I'm not fucking showering. So he's out on the street with me. And I'm yelling at him that I should have the right, that this club owner's an asshole. And I should have had the right to do whatever I wanted to rectify my situation. And if he doesn't stand up for me, he's an asshole. Probably, I didn't want to go there. But I was very upset. And I start to try and take the camera off of the tripod. And something is not working. All I'm saying is cut to, I'm bashing the tripod with a rock. Bashing it. And he's trying to he's literally, I think, worried for me.
Yeah.
It's similar to when I was a member of the Songwriters Services Resource. It was SRS, the Songwriters Resources Services, and they had some kind of a thing. Hey, you want to submit your song for to sell it to Schmecky Schmoopy? And they rejected my song, but they didn't reject it. They also wrote down on the lyric sheet. I don't remember exactly. Yes, I do. I had written, and I hate this line. It's a horrible line because of the story that I wrote. Okay. I could live 100 lifetimes. I would still be me. Okay. That's
not a good lyric. No, I'll give you that.
Okay. So he writes down too yuppie a tone phrase, right? Which he's right. He's right. Sure. Okay. His criticism is right, but I'm not so sure that without asking, my thing was I'm submitting it. I'm not submitting it for a tell me what's wrong with it thing. I just wanted to be rejected. So I'm arguing with the fucking guy on the Songwriter Resources. No, fuck you. I didn't submit it because I wanted feedback. So here's the truth.
Right.
The line is not a very good line.
Right.
His criticism hit me like a punch in the stomach because I didn't believe I had the talent to be a musician, because I didn't believe I could sing. And you've heard the story a million times. Right? What is this story? I've hurt myself now.
You're talking about the unsolicited rejection.
Oh, right. So,
or the unsolicited note with your rejection.
And then someone else from the songwriter services had to come over to the phone and go, okay, well, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so and I'll never forget. It was like I was stunned. No, you're right. He's wrong. You're right. And thank you for being a member. And the other time was when I sent lyrics to Robert Hilburn.
All right.
Lyrics.
Yes.
And he said, best, Bob. Which later on I told him, thank you for responding. But this is the thing, is like, I think those are three classics. I don't know why I'm closing the bit by saying, and that's from my life.
Well, and they're all the same theme. Amateurish.
How would you term that?
Amateurish, self-righteous indignation.
So,
which means you've outgrown that, because you don't have those kinds of meltdowns anymore. Meltdowns of entitlement.
I mean, you can ultimately say that when you're in a fight with somebody you care about, you get to that level of where it's just, it doesn't make sense and you're angry.
Yeah, you're no fun.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why we don't fight anymore, because it's just, I can't, it's too scary for me.
Shut the fuck up. It's just so good. It's so good. Oh, God. Truthful and good.
Yes.
The thing I think that people need to take from this is that if I die tomorrow, or whenever I die, sooner than you, I hope I die before you.
Are you talking to the audience or me?
I'm saying to you, I hope I die before you.
I mean, I guess I hope that too, but I rue the
Don't
day.
have to. Are you kidding me? I'm not one of those older people who says, you know what? Keep going, kid. My life is over, but yours, no. I'm fucking the 99-year-old guy. Josh.
No, that's why you fantasize about me being in the home with taking care of you somehow.
Josh, you said you'd stop by Walgreens and pick up my, I don't know, what would be an old man's thing?
Salve.
I can't do what do they do with the feet? With the Epsom salts. I said Epsom salts.
Thing, right?
Have you ever had to buy, when Susan had her broken knee replacement, and we had to have like these temporary things you buy, to make your house, whatever, because someone can't,
Like
there's another thing called a
tub railings and things like
right.
that. Yeah.
There's you go to a medical device store.
Right.
Have you ever done? Yeah, I'm sure you've done that. I'm sure everyone has done that at one point.
Sure.
Now, why I started my own concession after that, selling on eBay strollers.
Try the Kindler bed wedge.
Do you think these things, like, what are those things that they hover around? Is that what it is? Hover around?
Sure, that's one of your more
popular
scooters, mobility scooters.
Well, I don't know what I was thinking about that. I just don't want to be on one of those, but if I have to, I'm already thinking about how I'll make it look good.
You could probably beat 3 miles an hour on one.
You know what I like about the hover around? I can actually get places quicker than when I walk like a Jew. I used to walk to Hank's Bagels. All the way to Hank's Bagels in Studio City. By the time, this is a true story. By the time I got there, they were closed every time. Not closed by the hours. Closed because they're out of bagels.
They are 1 block from my trainer, and I pass by them every morning on my way back or not every morning, every 2 days a week. I pass by them and don't stop there, because it's just like you just came from working out.
You've had them though, right?
I have had them, but not from that store. But yeah,
I think they're great, but they're very big.
I only went to I had a bagel sandwich at their one in Burbank, so I don't really remember the bagel that much. I remember it.
Right.
So I'll have them someday.
Right, but you don't have a problem. I've told you, for people who can still eat, like, you don't have type 2 diabetes. Those Brooklyn bagels, the frozen, are very, very good. God, the most boring man in the world. I feel like Larry King when he was hosting that show in Florida at his Rascals or something, Poppies. So that's what he still thought of himself in later years.
Right.
Just having a conversation. At Poppy's. That's what I don't know anything. I don't even know anything in my own mind. I have an open mind. He really did pride himself on not knowing a fucking thing.
Yes.
I never saw it that way till you explained it more clearly that way. I never really saw it. I was like, he really turned that into a bullshit shtick. It probably was fun when there were no celebrities you could hear on the radio, and he was in Miami and he's talking to Sophie Tucker. Maybe it was fun. Right. Whenever Don Rickles came on the show, it was the best. It was one of the best shows on TV. Larry had that relationship.
Yes.
When he said to
well, yeah,
Larry
I mean,
King.
it's fun to watch Don Rickles, and it's fun to watch an old Jew lose his shit.
The best was when he said, "Larry, you're a Jew." That was it. Yeah. Larry, you're a Jew.
Just Don Rickles.
That sums it all.
Don Rickles at a loss.
Larry, you're a Jew. You're a Jew, Larry. You're going to come down to Vegas and you're going to suck the tablecloths up through your nose because they're free. I remember all of his lines.
That's fantastic. Someone has to.
My father was friends with him. Story number 50. My father was story number 50. And then later on, he died very similar to story number 45. 50.
Response number 5.
That used to be on those kids I used to tell you about, the dead end kids.
Yeah.
What are they also called? The Bowery Boys. Uh-huh. They used to pretend that they would say routine 7.
Right.
And then they would fight guys. It would be the same. There was no difference in any of the fights. It was, okay, routine 12. But in your mind, you thought, oh, I bet this is a choreographed sequence here that the Bowery Boys.
Right. No, it was just to symbolize how often they get into a scrape. How commonplace it is.
Do you think they didn't want to call them the Bowery Boys? Is that why they kept changing the name? Because the Bowery got associated with drinking?
I don't know. I don't. They may have changed studios too. I don't know.
It's true. It's a good point you're making there. Very good point. I know you're looking at me like, what's my problem? Don't hang up on me because here's the thing.
Okay, tell me the thing.
Well, what are you doing below your belt? I didn't mean it like that. You're doing something down south.
Show you the hands. Everyone show your hands.
Did you ever do any variety of headshot? I had a microphone through my head. I'm not afraid to say that. But did you do any wacky shots? With finger, like extra hands. I always like.
I never had extra hands. I did. I had my hand on my face for a lot of early shots. But it wasn't doing anything really wacky.
Did you ever get your stuff done, printed at Prince Charming?
No.
Oh, man. I remember the days of Prince Charming. I'm sorry.
Fade out.
If I just... It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the boom, 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 boom. It makes the people.
What you gonna do? Do what Andy says. Let's make some who. I said people. Listen to it, you now. Got no choice. But to make some who. Let's make some who. We'll make some who. We'll make some who. We'll make some who. Come on now. Come on now. We'll make some who. Come on now. That's all. We'll make some who.
I found a pen, but I'm here. We're starting.
I found my pen. My pen.
We're starting like an hour later because of first of all, we live in the same neighborhood, kind of.
Yeah.
I live on Fulton and Lawine. Right. You live on Burbank
and Rodeo.
Still one of the best lines ever from Larry Sanders when Stevie, Bob Odenkirk, says, I can't hear you. Larry, I'm going into the canyon. And then Larry Sanders says, what canyon? Goes off Sunset. And Rip Torn says, bullshit canyon. Have I done that joke too many times?
No.
Not enough?
No, it was just the telling of a sitcom joke, which makes
I know, so stupid. I can't even do it. It's like some people can do that and go, like my favorite line from Larry Sanders, boom, they're in, they're out. You either like it, you remember it, or you don't. Me, I'm going on and on and on with my setup.
Also, you told it's Sunset, and there are plenty of canyons off of Sunset. So.
No. He's driving down. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That was wrong. He's driving down Melrose, you fucking idiot. Yes. Why would he say Sunset, you dumb fuck? Yeah, he goes, I'm driving down Melrose. I'm going into the canyon. What canyon goes into Melrose? Something like that. It was very funny with the original joke. That's right. See how it works?
See, you didn't laugh either.
Oh, because why? What'd you do? Oh, I see. No, but I knew what was coming. Did you just get your hair cut again? How many times are you doing it?
I cut it myself. I can do it as many times as I want.
With a Flowbee?
Yes, with a Flowbee.
That's what George Clooney used.
Well, he's a clown.
Don't say that about George Clooney. He's a very handsome man.
He is.
Why do you dislike George Clooney? Let me turn it into that now. I called up, we started the show as normally.
It's too easy to like him. That's the problem. It's just too damn easy to like him.
It's easy to like him, but then you want, okay, so someone like George Clooney, you go, oh God, he's so good looking.
Yeah.
I should hate his guts. But then he's also fun and he's a prankster. It's hard to hate him.
That's the one thing I actually don't like about him is the prankster thing.
Yeah, because he's too good looking and powerful to do the pranks, because you just have to accept, it's funny, George.
Exactly.
Yeah, George. Brad Pitt sent me a whoopee cushion in the mouth. You dog, you dog. Is that what you mean?
Something like that.
There's something funny about it. But you can imagine when he's on the set.
I don't like ugly pranksters either, just to be clear.
You know, this is a good point that you're making. If I went out and I was yelling because I was sharing a condo with George Clooney, and I said, who short-treated my bed? You handsome devil, right? I see him how he's handsome. He's laughing, but he's so goddamn good-looking. How can you be upset?
And, of course, that's another bad example because you never would have noticed.
Because I'm too short to notice that my bed was short-treated?
Yes.
I don't think you understand the way short-treating works, but it's a very good slam about my height.
I had a better version of it years ago. I just couldn't conjure it up.
Oh, yeah, well, I can see my little feet trying to push through the sheet.
Those are some old-timey sheets, though, that rip apart when you put apply some pressure.
I'm dying to know. Well, I think it does work. The hand in warm water when you're sleeping, that supposedly works.
It worked at camp.
You made someone pee?
Sure. Well, I watched it happen. I didn't. I'm not a prankster. Like I said, those guys are dicks.
And it just immediately started peeing.
Well, it relaxes your body to this, where you just sort of lose your...
It doesn't say a lot about the human race that you would figure out that would work and then that you would bother someone while they're sleeping doing that.
There's a lot of things that are strikes against us as a race.
Yeah, I have to say that I am really not in a good space, but it's nothing but my own fault. It's nothing but my own fault. I mean, even if Twitter goes away, who needs it? I'm just wasting time. And then I could have done stuff in the hour and 15 minutes. I could have done stuff. I just sit here and I read my stupid online thing and I look at the dumb TV. You can't watch the TV. You can't watch news because they're talking about people coming up from the South. How could it not depress you within 3 minutes? And so
I know how you hate immigrants.
So I can't stand watching it. It just makes your head spin. And then I'm realizing there's not as much good on, even with all of my different things I own.
Yeah.
You still have to search for something. I mean, Stalin's story doesn't come along every day.
And I think the real thing is that maybe watching something isn't the answer to your problems. Maybe there isn't maybe it's like maybe you want television to serve a purpose like you want marijuana to be a different drug. You want TV to be a different drug.
Why do I want marijuana to be different?
You want it to be crack somehow. You want to find the most powerful.
I do. I do. When they say sativa, I assume that means I'm running around like a madman going sativa, sativa. No, I am. I think you're picking up on a thing about me. Whether it's the Adderall, whether it's coffee.
I think you need what's that phrase? A purpose in life.
No, I have stuff to do.
I know.
I'm delaying. Think about this, Josh.
Right.
And I know that without yelling at me, because why wouldn't you? I still haven't completed my pension form yet.
Yeah.
Why am I not completing? That's the only thing I have to do.
I know. But
I am delaying it.
You are asking. I couldn't possibly, without being struck by lightning, scold you for something like that.
You would do that too. You could
Oh
let that
God!
go too?
Oh man! I can think of 3 things.
I've already let $2,000 go.
I can think of like 3 forms I could fill out right now that would result in me getting money.
I just had a thing though. I want to tell you. I tell you that my idea about the way Succession has gotten. So you watch it too?
I don't anymore. No.
Oh, okay. It's gotten very confusing. It's like my joke would be like, I didn't know I have to watch with my mergers and acquisitions expert, Robert, to understand. I mean, without Rich Brotherton, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Which has very much gotten into who called, you called, what is Mattson doing? And stuff like that they're not reveal. They reveal as it goes, but it's still too confusing for me.
Yeah.
But you stopped watching, why?
Because it felt like it was just going to be a succession of... it's like every week, who's the most horrible? It's like this week she's horrible. This week he's the most horrible. This week they're both horrible. This week.
I like when you look for like.
And
what's
I thought it was a good show, and but it's the modern TV rhythm is hard for me to keep. It's hard for me to like care after a long layoff.
Well, also it's trying to do something that it really can't. It's like. You know what I was just thinking? I think a show like White Lotus actually, in a certain way, can remain fresher because it already starts with a heightened... He's kind of cool because his thing is like the conversations sound real all the time, but they're weird.
Right.
So like I would be ready to see them in a different setting next time. Whereas like Succession... I think the only exception would be the Sopranos. I think the Sopranos pretty much, I mean, to the degree that you could remain at that quality the whole way through with all that, you know, everybody looking at the last, you know how many people were upset at the last episode? It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Do you think that that he's made of godlike material and he's going to, you know, it's like, so why think you didn't like the ending? I didn't mind the ending. How are you going to end it?
Of the Sopranos, you mean? We're talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know. I think the only way to be wrong is to get super upset about it.
Who does that? Oh, you're talking about me. I thought you meant me getting upset about people getting upset about it because I definitely have that part of me.
You do. You.
Now I'm too upset about them. It's like Jake Sherman. I hate Jake Sherman. I'm sure you hate him too, but you don't even know him. Maybe he's the punch bowl guy. Punch bowl. Right?
Punch Bowl?
Punch Bowl News. So he's always sitting around and he's laughing at Kevin McCarthy's jokes. So I went on I said, this fucking idiot, blah, 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 attached the article. You know, so 7 or 8 people like it. And so, but then I realized, you know what? It did work. In that case, it worked. I needed to get it out.
Yeah.
But what will be better is just getting it out without involving anybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, the question is like, are you trying to start a rally?
No, you can't anymore because you're on I don't know if you spend any time on Twitter, like I shouldn't be doing, but it's almost like could be a game show to figure out, is this a legitimate thing or is this like a Putin propaganda? I mean, they dress these accounts up nice.
Yeah.
But they're all of a sudden it's like, you know, I love the current China and I love this and we're great. And then they may have 50,000 followers. I mean, it's just, I don't think he's accomplished what he wanted to accomplish, which was making less. What was his point? What did he take it over again?
Who are we talking about? Elon.
Elon. What was his point to take it over? What didn't he like about it?
He wanted to own.
Not enough right.
He wanted
people.
to literally own the libs.
See, we should be able to go to the improv tonight and work that out and work our next set out. The world is changed, Josh. Everything is higher stakes now. I can't remember when I was just starting out in stand-up and didn't care about anything except would I get my next gig. So I didn't care. So what that Bush Senior invaded the country for no... I was starting to get gigs. But now there's no gigs. But no gigs are going to say. I guess what it is I'm at the end of my life. I can see it's over.
Sure.
I know that I'm going to die.
Right.
I don't see any good things in living further.
Probably not.
You should look into your agreement guy, because I don't think it helps.
No, yes ending this wasn't the time for yes ending.
No, because what we're supposed to be saying is that the world has always been like this, and we've always been this close to destruction. But that's not true. No. We didn't have this many bombs.
No, it's worse.
And then I was watching the...
And it's all social media's fault. I really believe it.
Oh, I explained that a little bit, but go ahead.
I just believe that there was a real flaw in the premise that bringing people together is the answer.
To talk, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, people thought about, we could talk about sewing with someone in Korea, but they didn't go, hey, let's form a hate group.
People don't give enough credit to how easy it is when you're going to form a group for it to be a hate group. Sure. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a lot more people.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen Mystery Science Theater forums that look like fucking hate groups.
I think what you're saying is that
against me, not against.
But anything can go that way. It starts out with a discussion group about Mystery Science Theater 3000. Cut to Josh is hanging in his attic.
Well, yeah. I mean, the basic point is that the worst parts of people can bond them together just as much as the good parts.
Absolutely, and not only that, it's great.
And those worst parts, if enough people with those worst parts get together, they can convince each other that their worst parts are their best parts.
Yeah, I know. Like this guy, this guy who's I blocked or whatever, but he was like, first of all, he's like a troll, right? So, but it really bothered me because his name is Artie Fufkin. You know, he's using the name from Spinal Tap. And it's a picture of Paul Schaefer. And so the premise is, I'm this hilarious guy from one of the greatest movies of all time. But meanwhile, he's just like, you suck, Kindler. You're the worst piece of shit in the world, Kindler. And then he was like, so I kept going. So I was having fun with him because as it goes further down into an argument, there's less chance anyone's going to see it. You know what I mean? Like subtweeting. So I just like, keep going, you stupid whatever. You keep going. This is great. He goes, I got you. Didn't? Because I think the whole thing of trolling is it would be like if you saw Harrison Ford up in the street and you went up and went, ah! Right. And then Harrison Ford, what the fuck? Right. And then you went home and went, I fucking got him. I got Harrison Ford.
And by the way, Harrison Ford would shoot you because he carries a gun. The one time
Does he really? Okay, don't that. Well, thank God he's not flying.
Exactly.
That's all I have to say. But that's it, because the guy was like, I got you, Kindler, you hack, and blah, 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 blah. You can't tell, boy, this is the happiest day. And then 2 minutes later, he blocks me. He's not having the happiest day. He didn't own me if he got so upset with me coming into his, you know what they hate, trolls hate? When they're trolling and you just put a little comment to it, like, shut the fuck up. Whatever it is, they hate it. They don't like when they're going on a roll, or they think they're going on a roll.
Yeah.
So, years from now, this will all be good for a book.
You'll miss it someday.
No, I won't. I know. It's like so terrible. It's such a terrible thing because is this the same as it ever was, or the more we go, the further we go, or is this the worst possible situation that can ever be because of social media? And no, I've learned from therapy that when I go that extra step, even if it's true that the world might end in 16 hours, it's not helpful.
Right.
Because beyond the complaining and the watching and the looking, what are you doing all day long?
No, this is my positivity. My half full is the world's going to end just beyond my lifespan.
Well, that's a good goal because
Yeah.
who gives a hell, fuck or whatever. Yeah.
Makes it hard to recycle, but
Oh, I want to say one more thing, and I'll never talk about this again, which I'm lying. I go on. There's an intersection where I go where I'm walking, and it's no right turn. It's to get on the freeways. It's no right turn from 4 to 7 p.m. At all. Don't make a right turn.
Right.
And people are like, fuck this, right?
Sure.
So what people are doing is they don't understand that they see, I'm going to go, well, who cares if it's 4 to 7? But they don't understand that there's a person making a left right directly into them as they think, why is that sign there? They see that sign as an enemy and they just turn.
Right.
They don't see that sign and go, what am I paying attention to that sign for? I don't see anything. No, they go, sign is bad. They go, and I, about 3 or 4 times, boom, like an accident. I don't know why I wasn't more upset. They're literally going to maybe run into me if they were this close that they could have popped over the curb to me. So here's the other
Even
part
you
of it.
couldn't internally narcissize it, though, that way. That's
Right.
why you didn't get that mad.
But here's the terrible part about it. The only way to get up through the intersection is I have to stand up on a higher ground because I'm short, right? And when these cars are making their right turn against the cars that are making the left, I still have to, if the guy is not going to run into me on the right turn, no, but here it goes, on the right turn, the guy making the left, which they do after the light turns red, they go, no, I'm still going to make that left. Then I'm looking at this guy killing me while I'm trying to avoid this guy coming on. All right, let's get to the letters. I think that was a good signal.
Maybe take a different route.
No, this is a difficult thing because you have to cross the LA River, and you have to if you're a walker like me,
Right.
you have to cross the LA River at some point, and you have to go under an underpass at some point. You can pick various ones, and some of them are less. The one of them is where my brother said, "Is it funny?" Where I said I was killed under the
sure.
underpass. So you just have to pick and choose. You can't just. Does it bother you that when you put in thought, that spiral doesn't come right up? There's so many thoughts, things that start out with thought, that I have to put the underscore to get to spiral.
No, it bothers me more that you never ask how I am.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle says, do you think Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Garner are friendly as they are both involved with Ben? Andy, I'm flattered you want to read my words each week. I think you're flattering yourself too much. I see the words here.
Yeah.
It's not like I can't get to sleep the night before.
With Pickles anticipation.
Yeah, so Pickles, I'm flattered.
You got Pickle Spilkus?
I'm flattered as much as you can be flattered by a fictional account. Thank you, Pickles.
Mark McDonald says Harry Belafonte died, and I'm wondering if either of you saw the clip from the We Are the World recording where Smokey Robinson started an impromptu sing-along of the Banana Boat song. Bob Dylan looks like an angry, miserable grump through the whole thing. Bob Dylan did not seem like fun that night at the We Are the World thing. I've seen a bunch of coverage of that evening, and he was.
He never can predict him.
He was being high maintenance that night.
You can't predict Bob Dylan. You just can't predict them.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own life.
I love that song.
It's true. We make a better day. Just you and me.
Who wrote that one?
Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, and Quincy Jones, I think.
Now, you and me is grammatically correct, but most people say you and I.
Huh.
Did you know that? Because I'm still confused about it.
Well, you and I are not the right people to ask about this.
Bingo! Why don't we turn ourselves into the grammar boys? Wouldn't that be good?
It would be. It'd be better than the car talk with no cars.
I'm sad that Harry Belafonte died, though.
I am too. My mom had I think was genuinely had a crush in love with Harry Belafonte.
That's very nice. But nothing ever happened, right?
Nothing ever happened to
good.
my knowledge.
Elon Musk says, whoops your head. I've been stood up, cheated on, broken bones, lied to, sucker punched, peed on, paper cutted, and called a libtard. But the absolute worst feeling of all is stepping in dog shit. I can't argue with that. That still sucks.
It's not a good feeling. It is not,
especially for someone who has recriminations like me. Because I see all these signs everywhere. Don't step on here. Don't step on. So why would I ever step on a green area?
Right. But it's, yeah, well, unless there's black people coming.
You know what? If someone just listened to the thing now and just had no other thing and we're just laughing, hey, he's right. I don't like black people. Did you hear that podcast where the one guy talks about how he doesn't like black people and the other guy, they laugh about it?
Context spiral? But yeah, the thing about dog shit is the other things you described are like more like people's trespasses against you. Stepping in dog shit is the universe going, fuck you.
It's so bad. And you know what? Here's the reason why it's bad for someone like me, because I'm a recriminations guy.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I grew up in New York City.
You have a recriminal record a mile long.
And I grew up in New York City, and I remember, I'm older than you. I don't know how it was in L.A., but it was the worst thing in the world when you didn't have to curb. I guess there was no law about where your dog could shit. Yeah. And just all everything. So I, at an early age, having learned to walk in Queens and potholes, I should know by this point to never walk on any green area that you haven't first looked at. So whenever it happens, and it happens once every 7 years.
That's what kept you out of football.
Well, what kept me out of football?
Because it's a huge green area that you don't walk. Can't walk on.
I told my coach, look, I just have a bad, just a bad experiences. Can you put me down? Don't put me, because Shea Stadium, they used to play in Shea Stadium, and Shea Stadium had this part where they wouldn't take the mound away completely, so Joe Namath was throwing.
I remember the Vikings having to run over the mound at Met Stadium.
And then Joe Namath, he takes the thing, just throws it. What the fuck is this crap?
Jason, more machine than man Parton, says, Spike, now that Aerosmith is having their farewell tour and the great Gordon Lightfoot has passed away, who will be about to win tickets for on the morning show? Who will we be about to win tickets for on the morning show? And then he says, Jelvis, it doesn't have a bridge. It doesn't have a bridge, which is a reference to my classic Gordon Lightfoot. Do you think the Edmund Fitzgerald sunk because it didn't have a bridge?
Does it not have a bridge, though?
The song doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't? It doesn't have, oh, hey, 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 hey. Well, that wouldn't be a good bridge for it. So it's just, Edmund Fitzgerald.
Uh-huh.
The whole time through?
Uh-huh.
They should have a nice part. It's like a bridge that goes, Edmund Fitzgerald, Edmund Fitzgerald, Edmund Fitzgerald. It's crazy, you see. And then back to the other thing.
They should.
They shouldn't. Let me see. Who else could die now? That would. Okay, 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. And coming up is Motley Crue. We're giving away Motley Crue. No, not giving away Motley Crue tickets.
I'm giving away...
Big Bopper. We're giving away tickets to the Big Bopper and La Bamba's coming to town.
Third Eye Blind?
To me, Third Eye Blind, you can find no better example of how naming of groups got out of control. Right?
It's true. It's crazy, these kids with their names these days, 30 years ago.
BD West says, guys, I always felt cheated that the word groovy was I like the word groovy, was already out of the cultural lexicon by the time I hit double digits. Andy, were you ever groovy? A fan of laughing? Also, did you know the Beatles first considered the Groovies as a band name because albums have
grooves. That's what he meant.
Oh, I didn't get the joke there. I love this word groovy from Paul Simon's song, which he then later didn't like because it was feeling groovy. I got no deeds to smoop, no promises to keep, and I'm dappled. Who else was writing this at that age? I'm dappled and drowsy. What other person from the hippie era was dappled and drowsy?
Jimmy Roget.
Who else would write a desultory Philippic by Paul Simon? And hey, Paul, this one song no one's listening to. Can you change the fucking name? God, that was not as funny as I made it out to be. Laughing doesn't hold up, we've decided, obviously.
It does not.
But I did watch it back in those days. It was like, it was a national thing.
Sure.
To see Nixon come on and go,
"Sock it to me."
Yeah, still funny.
Scott Allen says, Andy, I'm going to have to ask/demand that you no longer root for the Jets. You know why. Don't agonize over it. Just make the only moral choice. And remember, there's another New York team. And there are California teams.
Scott, I know what you're saying. I just found this out yesterday.
Really?
A couple of days ago, because I don't follow. For months, I was following Rogers. It's Rogers time. Here comes Rogers Day. So I just stopped following it. And then it's hard to follow a team like the Jets. Who are they drafting? They're usually terrible. So I wasn't following it. But now I did think about this, and I thought about I cannot root for him because of the but he's a very good quarterback, and I think I'm going to have to root for him now. He's on the Jets. I don't know. He's not going to last too long, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's not a good reason for me to. I'm Jets to death.
Are you Jets? Do you Jets or die?
Well, it's the same thing with the Mets. Like the last, I have the MLB package, and when I mean that, I have a penis that is approved by the
mighty little baby.
But I'm not watching the games now. They're on a big downs. It's like I won't even go back to the TV for a couple of weeks. If they climb out of it, fine. But I'm not going to be there in the daily drama of why is Marte not starting? Who is Batty not doing this? Why is Alvarez doing this? I can't be. I'm already depressed by politics. I can't add another huge area. It'd be like you watching the Lakers now and hoping they're going to win. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-bum. Painful. Is it 1-1?
It's 1-1, yeah.
How about the Knicks?
And they took one on the road, so I don't feel too bad about that 1-1.
Oh, okay. And the Knicks?
Knicks are also 1-1.
Thank you. It's exciting to watch because I'm going to start watching. I should watch now, right? If not now, then when?
I don't give a shit if you watch.
Okay, that's very true.
Clarity Repa says the fact was, this is another Clarity Repa tone poem. The fact is, it was so long ago, it makes it unbelievable. My school's corporal policy was, if they bleed, you need to ease off. Just a little, and then try again. Hashtag beats me. The beats meant something different. How to be a living martyr? Andy first. Hashtag National Day of Prayer. It's a lot going on there.
Well, not only that, but it
and then there's a picture of you
of
in a neck cozy on a plane.
That does look familiar to me. That picture. It has to be before the pandemic, obviously.
Durr.
But like you say, oh boy, Andy, at least you put your best photos online. It's like you're not just putting anything up there.
Yes.
Okay. I don't understand. No, I am not. Corporal policy is terrible. I'm listening to this podcast where it's called The Opportunist, where they took these kids out in the 60s to Challenger wilderness programs. It's like the Scared Straight kind of thing.
Outward Bound.
Yeah. And they just killed, and these kids just died. They didn't give them any food. They died of dehydration. It was just totally a ripoff.
That was Outward Bound to fail.
But it's so depressing when you get into the meat of, like, I'm watching right now it's very good. I think I finished watching it. It's the Menendez brothers and the Menudo thing. And it's like, I don't want to get into a big argument, although you can if you want. But the point is,
that one thing? Menendez and Menudo into one
Yes,
package?
it's one thing because Jose Menendez, spoiler alert, Jose Menendez, the father of Lyle and Eric Menendez, he raped this boy who was in Menudo. And the head of Menudo was a rapist himself, and he was very, very good friends with Jose Menendez, who was the head of RCA. So the fact is that because the judge at the trial would not allow any other things in, which was ridiculous, they know that they killed their parents, but there was reasons why they killed their parents, and they should have been let out of jail by now. If your father is raping you every day, yeah, I think killing him is not good, but it certainly doesn't put you in jail forever. But that's not how the story was sold to us.
What about Mom?
She knew, according to what this thing says, 3 weeks before this thing happened, his mom told him that she knew the whole time. That she knew the whole time he was being sexually abused.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details, and I'm not a fan of. I've always said this: if you can avoid killing your parents with automatic weapons, but when you watch the things,
I did it with disappointment.
Well, that's why you're not. That's why you don't have to go and look at your own actions. But it really made me feel like when they start talking about how that was not what was sold to the public, you just start to feel like the public. I mean, I'm not saying I always buy into these things, but it's just that was a fucking thing sold by the media. That was the angle on that case. Was these kids were spoiled and they had cars and they. I remember that. I'm just saying, as a citizen, right. I remember being bombarded with that, and then them making fun of that Leslie Abramson woman. I mean, the whole time when they first happened, I said to myself, "Well, there must have been a lot going on in that family."
Sure.
Right? Not just like, "Hey, Mom won't let us have the car. What the fuck's her problem, Eric? Let's kill that motherfucker." You know, it's like. So all I'm saying is that not saying anything specific, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that's. That I question is that, yes, they got bad PR, but how does that actually affect their trial?
Because the judge would not let in. The first trial, they let in the evidence of his having raped the kid.
Yeah.
The second trial, they would not allow any testimony about that. The first trial was hung 6 for manslaughter, 6 for murder. They believed they committed manslaughter.
Yeah.
Right? But the judge would not let in any information of them being abused. So the jury only could say guilty or not guilty. There was no extenuating circumstances. There was no, it just wasn't argued, which it would have been part of the case and would have affected the sentencing if it hadn't been let in. But the judge was just fucked up.
Andy watched a doc and now he's mad.
Anyway, we'll go back over those things. And, you know, God bless everybody. We're trying our best.
Christopher Citro says, spent last weekend at Bootlegger's Point on Lake Ontario. During Prohibition, farmers used to smuggle in Canadian booze and resell it to their customers who knew to ask for the special apples. In 100 years, what's the map of L.A. going to call the land under your homes?
Oh, my God. This is... If I wasn't worried about my own death now, I would worry about this.
They're going to call it Walking Jew Meadows.
I hope that happens. You know, Ernie, I don't know if you know Ernie, if you knew Ernie when he was alive, but the Ernie Memorial Walk is not far from where we live. And that was a dog who must have been a wonderful dog because they built a dog walk about him for him there.
I have not seen the Ernie signs.
So that's what I hope with me. I'm a walker. There'll be like a park, Andy Kindler Memorial walking, and then little plaques. Yeah. Andy Kindler was a comedian but later on he did this and stuff like that. Small statue of me.
Sure.
Walking.
Sure.
You know the park I'm talking about, right? The park.
Taking a selfie.
You know the park that's bordered by...
the large park by us.
The large park.
Yes.
It is literally the size of Van Nuys. That's how big it looks to me. We didn't have that back east.
Well, you're small. You're very small. You had Central Park, Andy. We didn't have that back east. You had Central fucking Park.
I didn't go there as a kid in Queens. If you grew up in Queens, you didn't go, oh, I'm going to Central Park this weekend. You just stayed in fucking Queens.
Played on the fucking runway at JFK if you wanted to play outside.
Fun. Andy Kindler. Oh, that's not good.
No.
A third Jew says, what do you gents think of the unwritten question mark rule that once a joke goes in a special, it can never be told on stage again? I get not constantly recycling old bits, but wouldn't it be okay to play the hits sometimes? Most of the audience wouldn't have heard them anyway.
I think that's only true to a point about the audience not hearing them anyway. Like if you're a big name, let's go Tom Segura since he's a big name right now, and someone who turns over material from a special. If you're paying whatever $70 to go see someone in a big theater or an arena or whatever, chances are you have seen their special, and chances are that people are going to feel ripped off if they're seeing the same material.
Or Gaffigan would be another example of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's selling tickets, basically, is going to basically have that obligation to some level. I think, if it's me, it's like I don't worry about my album because no one bought my fucking album, and no one at Acme or wherever I'm playing is only a small percentage of the audience is coming to see me.
Well, also, what you're saying is very specific to stars, big stars, and how they're going to be treated. Todd Barry used to worry about that all the time because he would go back and people go, I heard that last year you were here. Right. So it definitely is a concern.
Whereas I think Seinfeld never gave a shit.
Well, he once did his final thing. Remember, the last time I'm going to do all that material.
Right, but that means he had been doing it for 35 years.
30 years, right. I feel like if you come to see me, I'm going to do my mother if I want to do my mother. So I think I have it's like, hopefully you build up enough material that you can do old stuff. And it's really as much about you having fun on stage. And also what you're saying, if I go to Acme, they're not going to remember, if I went to Acme now,
some people will, but
right.
They don't mind hearing it again. And hopefully I'm not telling it exactly the same. But I mean, my goal is always to get as much new stuff in as good, but you want it to be new, solid shit. It's
right.
And there's some bits I'm just genuinely proud of, and I want to show them off each time.
What if someone came up to you and said, I didn't like a lot of that show, and you went, did you hear anything you heard last time? No. Well, then I've done my job, haven't I? You were not familiar with any of the jokes you didn't like, right?
I think I would just go security.
Don't make that face, though. It looks weird. Tweet, 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 the little dee tweet, 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 whoo. Tweet Bahara says, which phrase goes away in which days? Something, something for a minute, or my bad? I hope they both go away. I can't stand either one. Oh, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
I think minute is sticking around.
It's been a lot. It's a lot.
That's a different set of lingo, though.
Let's make memories. I hate that one.
Yeah.
What is happening? Is that Cody? Cody.
That is Cody, yes.
Whoa! I'm beginning to... You know what I saw? Okay, every day I go walking, I see people with their dogs. And of course, I'm always thinking, when am I going to get my dog? But one of the cutest things about dogs, and it's mostly the dogs that are medium-sized to small.
Right.
When they walk, it's the most hilarious thing in the world. They're like... I just love when they get the old feet going. They're the cutest animals on the planet, I think.
I think they're
in many ways.
I agree.
Cody, what's wrong? Can you say not now? Not the same way.
It's a different... he's not addressing me right now.
Oh, I see. I love that. I've told Susan that story about, not now, Clyde. Boom, Clyde's gone. Not now. And I believe that Clyde replied, I'll come back in a little while. That's fine.
Pretty much. I think it was more like a, oh, really? All right.
Is that the extent of the dog's disappointment?
Well, Lucky's more tenacious. Lucky will be like, all right, but I'm coming back in 2 minutes.
There is no pride amongst thieves in dogs when it comes to food, right? They want their food. They're not afraid of how much they look like they want it.
No.
But the dogs who act more over the top, they tend to get less treats.
I think so. I think if you're polite, You know, like my dogs, like I said, they'll come and trick or treat in the morning sometimes. You know.
What, do you have milk bones and things?
Not in my office, but I'll go downstairs and.
Is that what the treat is? Are dogs stupid? They just think it looks like a bone?
No, they aren't actually milk bones. No.
Oh, okay.
I was using that as a generic.
Right. But you can't. But
the hard part is finding parity among 3 dogs now, because one dog is like a third of the size of the other 2. So it's like basically 2 treats get broken up between 3 dogs now because it's.
Oh. But then you can say if the dog complains, you go, look, I saved your fucking ass, literally. I saved your life.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Do you ever go to that point? Hello?
It's implied. It's always implied. So they just ooze gratitude, these dogs.
Tom the Tom says, the day this show drops is the last day of my 40s. I'll meet up with you in the old folks' home. Happy 50th birthday to Tom the Tom.
Oh, is that what you took from that? I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought I messed it up again. It's so easy to appeal to my, you fucked it up again, buddy.
I know.
Wait, what? Well, the 50s are nothing. That's what Josh is.
Exactly.
It's fantastic.
That's right. That's why I'm constantly in medical care.
No. Think about someone other than Josh in their 50s.
That's why I'm going for cancer follow-up MRIs tomorrow.
Oh,
no problem.
How long has it been?
It's been 4 years since my last. I skipped my pandemic, which is.
So you're going tomorrow to on the weekend?
Yes.
Okay, well maybe you have a deal or something. You going in while the lab's closed?
Yeah, exactly. Sneaking in.
Well, I wish you all. We will all be not praying, but we'll all be thinking about you.
No, you won't.
Okay, sounded good when I said it.
You'll hear it after it happens. So
I think
what would be
the fact
point?
that you're not as the way you make it sound. I'm not even a human. Dan Marsh says,
"Sorry,
hey,
I'm not Dr. Doolittle. I don't understand what you just said."
Oh, because you're talking to an animal?
Exactly.
Did Dr. Doolittle real? Is that based on a true? Dan Marsh says, hey guys, who were your favorite fictional characters when you were a kid? Well, Bullwinkle and Rocky were early ones.
I liked your Mr. Snuffleupagus. I liked your Fonzie. I enjoyed I liked Laverne more than Shirley. I
liked the courtship of Eddie's father with that guy.
Yeah. I liked
Family Affair.
Han Solo. I liked Indiana Jones. Wait, same dude. I got tricked.
Well, you had a very normal life, and I don't know why people claim that you are
Steve Austin. Steve Austin, another big fictional character of my young childhood.
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yes.
I didn't know you watched any wrestling.
No, it was the $6 Million Man, you dipshit.
No, you're supposed to insult me a little bit more mellow, and a little bit more subtly. Why don't you read Dana Schwartz's question?
All right. Dana retweeted himself where it says, Andy Kindler, I think you're a very talented performer and an extremely talented comedian. And then he comments on it, I really can't write a new question because of the strike and all, but I do have an older tweet that apparently was never seen that I can send instead.
Is that to me?
That was to you, saying you're very talented.
Oh, I'm going to retweet that. Why not, right? Let's do that. No, I'll like it. People are tired of my retweeting of everything. Yeah, I didn't know that he was a member of the Writers Guild.
I don't think he understands, really.
Oh, it does not affect Twitter writing. Pencils do not have to go down. Oh, God, I'm really not doing well. Kerry Whitten says, not a question. I had a dream earlier this week where I was waiting to see Andy perform live. Once on stage, he did not do stand-up. He sang, Vegas crooner style. It was fabulous. So if you're considering a change of direction, my subconscious says, go for it. You know what? From your eyes to mouth to God's ears. Well, when you're some enchanted evening, you will hear a stranger How you doing? Where are you from? Nice to see you. You can't top. Well, I can't top Bill Murray.
No. Arthur Chase says, "Dear Spike and Jelvis, can you sing the French part of Psycho Killer?"
I can.
Huh?
I sometimes can.
Can you? All right, lads.
Je veux say, avec moi, je relance. I realize my hope. Je realize mon espoir. I forget most of it.
Ce que j'ai fait ce soir-là.
This tonight.
C'est qu'elle a dit ce soir-là.
This evening, something happened.
Réalisons mon espoir.
Please realize my hope.
Je relance pour la gloire.
That reminds me of Ken Can Eat It Carousel.
So you didn't actually translate. You only translated little parts of it, is what you did.
I have known at various times in my life what it meant because I had no life and I was a Talking Heads fan. So I'm
Ce
sure.
que j'ai fait ce soir-là is
this thing I've done tonight.
What did I do last night, or what I did last night? Ce qu'elle a dit. What she said last night. I realized my hopes. Réalisons mon espoir. And then it's like je me lance vers
I cut it off.
La gloire.
Yeah, the war.
No, the gloire, the glory.
Oh, the glory. And supposedly it's based on him sleeping with a friend of his, sleeping with a friend's girlfriend. Doesn't that really make it better that you knew that?
I kind of preferred that he killed her, but whatever.
You don't speak in French about killing someone the night before.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
What is that?
Right.
What is that?
God, I hate you sometimes.
I know, I do too. Because my knowledge of French is so limited, and I want to be more.
Insistent, so fucking insistent.
Quel dommage.
Très insistant. Dan Marr says, "I've heard other comedians derisively refer to someone as a boat act. Have either of you performed on a watercraft of any kind? And if not, what was the most humiliating venue of your career?" I have performed on a watercraft. It wasn't a cruise; it was like a dinner cruise, but not a.
You never went on a
cruise ship. Cruise. No.
I never have either. I don't think it's fun. Doesn't sound like fun to me. You're locked up with the same people all week long.
It's a big boat. It's a big
What's
boat.
that?
It's a big boat, though. It's not like you're on the SS Minnow.
No. I've had so many humiliating venues, I can't pick one. There's been so many. Any one-nighter that was in a sports bar, and then they turned the hockey off.
Oh, yeah. That's the best.
It's hard to narrow it down.
The nooner, the college nooner. Have you ever done one of those?
Yeah, I have done that.
That's deadly.
And I killed.
Sure.
Chaotic Neutral says, "Hey guys, with Florida becoming what it's becoming, I decided to move back to D.C. Is there anything short of winning the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor that would get either of you to play a gig in our nation's capital? Any memories of the comedy scene there? I played there once at a place that was a former strip bar that wasn't good, and then I would play. I had fun at the place in it's near the
Arlington Draft House.
Yes, I had fun at that. I would go back there again if it wasn't a pandemic still. I mean, there might be. But it was a good room.
All right. Well,
Did you go there?
The CDC doesn't agree with you anymore, Andy.
I know they're getting rid of everything.
That's right. Now it's just called the Kindler alert.
Did you play in Washington though?
I did the Arlington Draft House, and I've done the Baltimore side of or the Maryland side of things. But
Did you do the Draft House with the Mystery Science?
Yeah, with Cinematic Titanic.
Well, it is nice. It's a nice room.
Sure.
Yeah. It's still there, I think.
In fact, my nephew's boss. My nephew is now working for the government.
Oh, wow.
His boss has a Mystery Science Theater poster up in his office, and it took him months to actually say something, and then he finally did. He was like, actually, yeah. And he was like all excited and had come to see us live and stuff. So.
Like,
for fuck's sake, play the card, Jake.
So the card worked.
Yes.
The card worked, and
yes.
That's nice. I like that.
Halpin Fraser says, "Hi, guys. It's not TV. It's the commercials. Have you noticed Ted Danson pronounces consumer as consumer? Is that his version of normally?
I don't know, but I love those. I think I kind of like those commercials. I mean, those commercials could be good because there's something funny about, listen to me, I'm Ted Danson. But I don't know that consumer, it doesn't make you want to buy consumer cellular.
It's true. But Cheers didn't make me want to buy a bar, so.
Good point.
And we're going to the gram. We're going to the gram.
Yeah, I'm going to the gram.
Gram.
Going to the gram.
Gram.
Going to the gram.
Gram.
Look at that picture. Oh, that's not the right one.
I don't know.
The picture of you and Frank.
Munson 3786 says, Andy, if Josh was hypnotized into thinking he was a dog, would you take him on your walks? He'll be a good boy. Yes, please. Take me along.
The question depressed me, and your impression made it worse.
Podrick Beer appropriately asked Josh, what's your go-to beer? Number 2, when you have a beer at home, do you pour it into a glass? And number 3, do you have different glasses for different styles of beer? My go-to beer changes right now. I go for a Pacifico quite often now.
Wow.
Sometimes I'll go for a more IPA, a Lagunitas IPA or something like that. But I'm mostly a Pacifico guy. Right.
Pretty sophisticated guy.
I don't drink it from a glass. The only thing I would drink from a glass would be like a Guinness. I would pour into a glass.
Yeah, that makes sense because you see it that way a lot.
And I don't have different glasses for. I'm not a very ceremonial guy when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah. You covered it.
Dan Wade says, as a Beach Boys purist, every time Kokomo comes on the radio, I get more upset than I probably should. What's something that makes you irrationally angry? You're asking me, I hope, because that's all Andy has.
Today it was Jake Sherman of Punch Bowl News.
Yes.
That is a terrible thing when Kokomo comes on because it really is, it hits some of the sounds of the Beach Boys, so it's even more insidious.
All right. It's not, but also you hear the sound of grasping.
And you can see Mike Love's face looming in the mix in the edit bay. Shahuma, Kahuna, Kamanzumi, Zumi, and Bagaga, Bagoogie. I mean, they're using the I've been everywhere shtick too.
Sure. Delicious Mix says, Young Goy Medical Corner. If I eat sweet potato fries, my right rude finger forms a rust-colored blotch right in the center of the fingerprint. That is weird. Josh, when are we getting the Coffee Up, Beer Down shirts? We need TS merch. Peace and love, gentlemen.
I don't like to complain. We have so many things in that shop. That sticks in my craw that someone would be complaining about the assortment, the variety.
If that would be a great shirt for if we did active merch, the Coffee Up, Beer Down, and I really worked it on the show a lot more. I said it a lot more.
Yes. Coffee Up, Beer Down.
That could be a real.
That could take off.
Yeah.
Estates now prefers to go by Moldy Locks. I have to say I was a little taken back when Josh admitted last week that he was familiar with merely a smidgen of Leonard Skinner's catalog. Their fondness for the Confederacy aside, they're one of the most soulful rock and or roll acts known to man. Simple Kind of Man, Tuesday's Gone, Free Bird. Okay, maybe, but he's not listening to any of their songs. That's good.
No, and I'm aware of all these songs.
Ooh, That Smell.
Yeah.
What's Your Name, Little Girl.
My point was what's your name, little girl? Could have been the Allman Brothers in my head. Ooh, That Smell could have been the Allman Brothers for me in my head.
I mean, the hits keep on coming. There is a Netflix doc on them that I believe is still showing if interested. P.S. I also hear Jelvis.
I also love hearing Jelvis go on about his smoker, which is...
What does that mean?
It's
a smoking thing. Yeah, your thing. Yeah. No. I admit that my
You're railroading me. Stop railroading me.
I put down that Leonard Skinner is not based on knowledge. I just got in love with other bands like Little Feat and Marshall Tucker.
Didn't even mention you, Andy. Didn't say anything about your relative. Didn't even bring you up.
Excellent point.
Daisy Petunia says, what do you think of people who made a big show of quitting Twitter but remain on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, a pernicious actor in social media too? It's as if these people want to signal their perceived virtue at the least possible personal cost. Well, isn't that Twitter in a nutshell?
It is, but you know what? I'm the same kind of person. You're hating me too, because I think I hate them all. So, but I would remain. I would remain on Instagram because it's one of the few things I can do. Still,
I will say, however, that Elon Musk poses a particular problem.
Challenge. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see his Bill Maher interview?
I only saw little things from it. I couldn't stomach buckling down to watch the whole thing.
I mean, Bill Maher, does he think he's going to give him his money? I mean, he must think that. I think everybody thinks that when they hang out with him. He's going to give me some money.
It really does feel like that.
And he's a greedy guy, Bill Maher. Does not need the money now.
Does not need the money.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I think a trip to space? I don't know what he wants. And finally, Zeke Fosse.
Here's something.
Zeke Fosse has an uncomfortable question. Says, a quick one, as I don't wish to cross the WGA picket line. Why is my son's penis so much larger than mine? I mean, that you notice as you live with someone. We aren't comparing or measuring anything like that. Just a curious nature question.
I don't think this material I would label as problematic.
I would say genetically it's because your wife's dad has a huge dick.
See, this is what you bring to the table. You cut through all the noise.
Thank you. And if you'd like to cut through all the noise and just help us out, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and help us out. You're trying to hang up and you can't.
No, that's
you're
not
failing.
You're failing. Can you please tell me once again about how you're doing with your...
You're stupid, Andy Kindler. You're stupid.
Edmund Fitzgerald. It's crazy, you see.